Hey guys, I'd just like to ask if you could like and subscribe and comment on the video with any thoughts you might have had, because it goes a long way towards helping support my channel. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I decided to cut off the last time because it felt like there was still a lot more to go, and I guess there's still more to do.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor
New
additions?
mug.
Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Yeah, exactly. Time to wake up. Able to use the phone? No? Okay. Investor Showcase. The end is never the end. Oh, again.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe?
What happened
What does
here?
it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Exactly. Now you get it. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Building castles in the sky. Just the two of us. You and I. God damn it. Just me and narrator like always. What the hell's that saying? Interesting. I feel like that's gonna be like some super theory relevant papers, I imagine. Be like, oh, this one crossed off the second one here, this one crossed off the last one in the second row, kind of thing. It's like, and that actually is a reference to such and such. Part 2 is in. That's beautiful. So many new mugs. Oh my god, is that the... Oh my god.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly
Dear
the Stanley
Stanley.
Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it.
Can I jump?
figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts,
Taste the
that
sequel.
surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game
took the
development
red
is much
marker?
more of a
Me.
fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Scrum number 2 chat. Crab, the ultimate sequel. Oh my god. Sequels are good. Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Batman Arkham Asylum 2, City, Divinity, Aladdin 2, Return of Jafar. Oh, I love it. I love it. There's just twos everywhere. Who the hell said this game isn't funny? I can't go down there, can I? There was another game that worked like that, right? Like besides Stanley Parable, where you could just like find all, and Undertale, of course, and some other game. There was like some other game where it's just like you find every possible avenue to sneak around besides just this Undertale and Portal. Even Portal was more of like
Here we are. Go on.
the
Try out
initial
some of the new
idea of it.
features.
Yo, this is God. This looks like a fucking museum. Alright. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Hear name in the game. Okay. I'm intrigued.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people.
That's true.
So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of... Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
I am Jim
I
now.
want you to imagine yourself living as
I
Jim.
am Jim.
Sleeping and waking as Jim. Falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim. Seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim. And as Jim, watching your dreams crumble into dust.
I am Jim now.
Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
I am Jim. Wow.
Yes, you see.
Wow.
What a rush.
Oh my
What was
god,
you?
this is incredible.
The button described you.
It does.
Do it again.
It does.
Jim.
Ah!
It's even harder the second
I don't know if
time.
it
If
hit
this
harder.
were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money.
Exactly.
Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal... Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away.
No!
Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of Jim actually are. Jim.
No! No, I feel incomplete. I can no longer be Jim. I will be sad if the Jim button never makes a return. Can I go find the Jim button through here? Oh, I am sad. They took away my Jim button.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2.
That is
would
an
actually
option.
save me the work
I
of
could
finishing
go that
this
way.
feature.
I'll check out the other features. Oh, I thought it was a giant Stanley. Wait, what is this? Whole new office. Oh, nice carpet. No screenshot. Please, no screenshots. Red is the new orange. The baby is all grown up. Oh my god. I remember the baby vaguely. The new updated ray traced, more of the same, but in a good way sequel to the... New features, new contents, new ideas. Distinct quality with just the right amount of change. Sweet shaders. Oh, we got a little map. Reassurance bucket. Up. Oh god, this is... Okay, man, this is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be, honestly. Settings World Champion? Oh yeah, I did see something about that, where you could, like, settle... If you set the various settings to different values, like every different value, I think, then, like, you get the Settings World Champion. Q. I want a free achievement. Is that outside the map? You are here. Where'd I come in from? I came in from the left, I think? Yeah. Epilogue is over there. I'll leave that till later. I have this map. So then E would be over here. Exit. Okay. You know what? Let's do that. Let's go. Let's leave. I'd like to go.
Oh, goodness. Stanley, this is very awkward. I hate
I
to
cannot
do this,
leave.
but before you leave, you really should go to both the exhibits for the bucket and the collectibles. You see,
Okay.
there's a surprise I was going to spring on you later, and it involves both of them. And I
Okay.
really do hate
That's
to
okay.
break the
That's
illusion,
okay.
but it's important that you go see the collectibles and the bucket. okay?
A9.
All right, I'll get out of your
God,
hair
this is
now.
the labeling on this map is hilarious. God, it's a giant Stanley. Can you find them? Can you find them? Can you? Oh God, that is. Collect them all. That's kind of terrifying.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley
Yes.
Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines.
Oh,
and what's
will we?
truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them.
I'm pretty sure
I don't
several
want to
games have
stifle
done
the
that.
intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your
Hell
own
is
remarkable
this?
life.
What the hell is this? That's terrifying. Yeah! The number went up! Oh God, he looks so unhappy. Oh, that's just darkness. But I did it! I got a
God, it really is the
collectible!
worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it.
I know.
Absolutely tragic.
Free achievement? Is it down there? Check this door. Okay, I'm gonna go get the free achievement. It just works.
Now,
The
here's
fucking
something
truck.
special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident?
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still
No.
fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at
Okay.
last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world
That's
who
fair.
have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
We hear you, gamers. I feel like I feel let down. My free achievement.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Infinite hole. It won't end. Say no more.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you
Yes.
go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really
He's going
wanted
to get
all
well
along.
someday.
Get
Yeah.
Well Someday it is.
I knew it. You know, fair enough.
Actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my
Insurance
decision.
bucket.
We're moving on.
I'm still trying to do the infinite hole. What? The holy moly? Oh my god. Oh. Oh god, this is... What? I don't understand. Science, infinity, more hole, more falling. You know what? They're starting to make a little bit of sense now. Oh wow. It just keeps going. I can't wait to try it out.
Stanley,
Oh, there it
here's
is.
an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
I agree. This is
You
fun.
see? Isn't it wonderful?
Oh, yeah.
One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button
Oh, we got a
to
teleport
pop
button.
back up to the top,
I bet it doesn't
and
work.
we can continue onward.
I'm content right now.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Why? Why? Is your hole not as infinite as you claim?
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole.
Wow.
Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely...
Oh yeah, I agree it's a deep
I don't
hole.
want anyone to say that it isn't
But
an
it's not
astonishingly
infinite.
deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look,
Dear.
I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling.
I am.
What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely?
I didn't
figured the
until
hole
I
was as deep
realized,
as anyone
wait a
would
minute,
actually need.
you lied
Didn't
to
you
me.
put this on me? Maybe you're the problem.
Oh, I'm the problem. Yeah, sure.
Look, things got a little heated there. I think
Yeah.
we both said some things we didn't
I didn't
mean.
say anything.
Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the whole mostly infinite?
You know what?
If that works for you,
that does
then
work.
go
for me.
ahead and press the teleport button
Okay.
to warp up to the top of the
I
hole
am.
and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Mostly infinite hole. Yeah, I could live with it being mostly infinite. That's fine. So was there anything else I could go through besides the reassurance bucket? Which I have seen vague people mentioning. Like, I don't even know what happens in it, but I've seen mentions of the bucket. Wait, where's merch? I want some merch. Okay, I already did the office decorations. B2's, the Stanley... Oh, it's right over there, okay. Number pad, where's settings world champion? Guess that's all over here. I want some merch. Can I have some merch? Am I not able to get to the merch? Wow. Let's go see about this bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical. That it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it.
I guess.
I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms.
Well, I hope so.
It's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
What?
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Well, thank you.
I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2. Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Well, now what? Can I go to the exit now? Plus, there was that other epilogue door, but I think I can come back to that some other point. I think. Oh. Is that just a giant office?
So, Stanley, what do you think?
Oh.
Do you like all of the new features?
I do.
Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's
I agree.
definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right?
I think there is. I think there is.
Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen.
That is true.
A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Oh my god. Begin the game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor at his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very...
Okay. Do I get a bucket? Oh, we got the balloons.
Were gone.
We got the balloons.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Okay, so I imagine that having the bucket or not having the bucket will impact things. And I feel like now things truly are just different.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
If you say so. I love they took this and just like, yeah, the main change is you're gonna have a bucket.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
I'm gonna take the bucket into the broom closet.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it?
Yes.
The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy, it's as clear
my
as
God.
day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion
my
and
bucket.
lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends?
How dare
that your
you!
relationship is purely superficial and convenient?
No!
That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I'd never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point.
Hey, broom
Share
closet.
your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape
suck.
of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I don't know what to say. I'm so bummed.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all.
Okay.
Here we go. Now
Yeah.
it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Yeah. Fuck you.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see? I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to
Oh
yourself,
no, he's gonna put that
it's a
sticker on things
bucket.
that are not a
There
bucket.
really is a wide
And be like,
variety of
no, it is your
applications for
bucket,
this sticker.
Stanley.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh, hey.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of
There's
these
a lot
beautiful
more to this than I thought there
figurines.
was gonna be. I feel like there's gonna be several episodes now. Might actually be longer than the initial game, honestly. Just because, if nothing else, even just because they added in the bucket as like the initial choice at the beginning of the game. Now it's just
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
yeah.
Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
Ah, thank you, bucket.
Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would. And he knew it.
Now I'm scared I'm
The two
gonna
of them
lose
were
it.
inseparable.
They're gonna take
At
away my
this
bucket.
point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
No,
Was
it's
it
crazy.
the bucket knew all along?
Yes, it was
the
the bucket.
guiding him?
The bucket
Yes,
told me.
This is certainly the most logical explanation.
The bucket helped me. Sorry, just answering a text real quick. Okay. Thank you, bucket.
Another miniature Stanley figurine.
Yes.
This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands?
Mini
Stanley
stands.
figs. What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Okay.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate.
Uh-huh.
It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket.
This bucket has
Soothing
helped me
him,
so much.
comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The
Thank you,
bucket is
bucket.
here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Oh, shit. Can I go back up? I can.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3.
About the
I
number
want to go
3,
back so I
interesting.
can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
Didn't say no. I love this. I love this. Who can hate this game?
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over. Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Yeah, I could also just maybe go. No? Okay. I guess not. Yeah, I guess we'll get back in the elevator. Whatever.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something.
I hope.
Perhaps
I don't
it
know.
had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
The broom closet wasn't right, was it? Don't tell me
A
the...
hint of regret nagged in the back of Stanley's mind. Should he demonstrate the number? Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
I could escape with the bucket.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Just adding the bucket to everything is beautiful. I am so easily satisfied when it comes to this.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock.
No!
Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst
No,
into
bucket,
tears
don't!
as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
It'll be okay, bucket. Do they have any buckets on the screens? I don't see anything that's noticeably different. Maybe.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well?
No.
Had the bucket been told to
No.
do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place?
I don't know.
These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's
He screamed
control.
into the
Never!
bucket.
He squeezed the bucket tighter. his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
I love this. I'm fine with completely replaying the entire game, but just with a bucket.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support.
What?
What? Wait, what was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was
No.
Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
No!
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket.
No!
Needed the soothing warmth of the bucket. Would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it.
No!
Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
I can't believe that's how it ends. It wouldn't let me leave because I had the bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Oh, wait, this door's back to normal.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Be a reward for finding them all? Okay. Mission status. Gotta collect them all. Jesus. Nearby a fireplace. Oh, okay, it's telling me where these are. Oh shit. Okay. Trust the completionist instinct. Okay. This is concerning.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Can I go?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
Thank you, Bucket.
Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos.
Thank you,
It
Bucket.
would be with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
So what happens if I hit a bunch of threes?
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. "2845.
I just like pressing threes. You said so. It gives me joy.
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
I guess so.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control
Yeah, there was another thing I could
Facility.
do in here, right? Like, I think there was another thing I could do this direction besides just the power thing. There was also like another thing. I'm trying to think. Was there something else I could do? Trying to see if we can spot anything over here.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs.
That skip button would come in
Bucket
handy
had
now.
never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into
No,
tears.
not that
Stanley
bucket.
cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
It'll be okay, Bucket. It'll be okay.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well?
Possibly.
Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own
I don't know why
life in
that's still
someone
funny to
else's
me.
control. Never! He squeezed the bucket
He
tighter.
screamed into
His
the
one
bucket.
friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
That is true.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery... But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls.
No, how could you, Bucket?
Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this?
How could you,
Stanley
Bucket?
was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly birds. The
Silly
control
birds.
buttons became active again.
Oh, but which one to press?
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world.
Wow, that must
The
be
mind
it.
controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions.
Of course, of
Had the
course.
bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable.
That's fair.
All the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And
Look at that
Stanley
silly bird.
was happy.
That is incredible. Wow, guys. This bucket already done so much for me. Let me try
All
one
his
more ending,
coworkers
and then
were
I'll
gone.
end
What
this
could it
video, and
mean?
we'll to do another.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
I'm sure. Wait, there might be different
Stanley
stuff
clutched
without
the
the
bucket
bucket, though. Is
tightly
the
to his
thing,
chest
because there are
and
changes to the
pointed to the
game, of
door
course,
on
like
his
the various things about finding figurines and the balloons, decorations, stuff like that. There are changes without even considering the bucket.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
But what if we head back down? I could have sworn there was like something I could do in this area.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
It was the
Was
bucket.
the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
It is.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Not with the bucket. The bucket will save me.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
That is true.
At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
And they were okay with that fact.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure,
Wow.
it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but
It
what
does.
use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Huh?
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death.
Ah!
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It
Wait,
was a
do I not-
glorious bucket to
Where's
behold.
my bucket? No! Bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You are standing on the precipice of knowledge. Much like the bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within. A cavernous void. But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we can have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, in ignorance and darkness?
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you
That is
see the
true.
hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Yep, that's 25 buckets, all right. That's 25 buckets. Oh my god. A bucket with two handles. This bucket is depicted as having two handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. Inferno bucket. A replica of the Inferno bucket, which is the medieval era, so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, yet in spite of it all, the simple fact remains: no one can control a bucket. What's this way? Oh my god. Cave drawing. Well, we know the buckets predate the existence of mankind. We do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice these drawings where the bucket was allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures. Wow.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Fair enough. You go look at this real quick. Stress bucket. An analogy. Oh, wow. Coping strategies equal holds. Presented without commentary. Just let it fill you up. Let the stress envelop in you. Do not have any way for it to be let out until it overflows. That is the way to live, yes. The hanging bucket. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of our reach. This distance inevitably is for our own good. And then there's a hole I can fall in. Wait, what? Why was I floating?
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't
Okay.
give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
I'm scared. Fuck did I just play? I'll stop here and I will see you all, and we'll continue finding out more about what's going on in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Bye. Thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like and comment and subscribe to the channel for more content. Thank you.